Disclaimer. This build guide was made in standard with GG gear at endgame, but you can definitely do a league-based, cheaper version and still achieve great damage. This build is far from being budget friendly, but I'm here to show you the best builds in-game without exceptions. That doesn't mean it's not working properly with a budget friendly gear. Recommendations for that and all kinds of questions are and will be answered on a specific thread by AhFack and me on the PoE forum or in the comment section of this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to not miss any new builds we came up to. Without further ado, lean back, relax and let's get started. Content Overview. This build guide contains build showcase, disclaimer, content overview, equipment, gems, jewels and abyss jewels, flasks, skill tree, ascendancy points, Pantheon powers, bandit choice and some gameplay. Helmet. Abyssus. Abyssus doesn't even have to be legacy because we don't benefit at all from the multiplier. For boss farming, get whatever roll you can find with a Barrage enchant in a low 40% physical damage range. For mapping, you can use a +2 tornado shot projectile or whatever clearing skill you prefer. +2 Barrage is now legacy, but +1 Barrage is still the enchant you want. For boss farming, projectile weakness curse effect could also be really good. Light Poacher. The Abyss League helmet Light Poacher is another great choice for a helmet. Being able to socket 2 more Abyss Jewels with dual flat physical damage is a great choice for us. I would recommend this helmet for anyone doing hardcore or people that feel too squishy. It combines great survivability with really good damage for us. Abyssus will always be substantially more damage, but I'd say this one is definitely second place. Main hand. Doomfletch's Prism. Even after GGG's nerf, Doomfletch's Prism still remains one of the best bows in the game, especially among all the uniques. Physical damage gained as extra elemental damage of each element is where the power comes from. Offhand. Drillneck. Drillneck +1 arrow. Even after GGG's nerf to it, it's still arguably one of the best quivers out there when used properly. I put a mirrored legacy multi-quiver on this build in passive building and actually got less damage than I did with +1 Drillneck. Insanely cheap for the damage they deal. Body armor. Chaos Heart. Non-legacy Chaos is great. Get a good fire damage roll for some nice damage increase, or if you're rich or an old timer, just use a legacy Chaos for more life. I'm using a regular Chaos. Gloves. Rare gloves. Grip gloves with flat physical damage, another flat elemental damage, the resistances you need to help balance your wise oak, and of course increased attack speed. Legacy Maligarus 50/50 provides less damage for us than these gloves do. Boots. Rare boots. Try resistance boots with movement speed and life, an open prefix for 12% elemental damage with attack skills craft, and 10% elemental penetration boot enchant is exactly what you want. I prefer tier 1 chaos resistance on boots because you won't be using a series flask and you will not be able to get any sort of chaos resistance anywhere else for this character. Boots should bring significant damage, high mobility and great survivability to this build. Belt. Rare belt. A GG Stygian Vice with all the juicy mods. Hysteria, penetration, dual resistances, elemental damage with attack skills, life and movement speed is what you want. Remember, penetration is better than elemental damage with attack skills no matter what your tooltip says. I recommend using passive building with this build to help calculate damage correctly. A good Abyss Jewel should have flat physical damage and any other offensive mods that could suit you, such as flat elemental damage, fizz percentage to fire damage, onslaught on kill or even some more life. Amulet. Rare amulet. Prioritize tier 1 fizz roll on the neck. The ideal endgame amulet would also have global critical strike chance, global critical strike multiplier and life on them. Elemental damage with attack skills and flat elemental damage would be the 5th most important, followed by whatever useful suffix you need. A useful stat or more accuracy is the best choice here. For absolute min-maxing, an Elder amulet with fizz to fire and non-chaos damage as extra chaos damage should be used. These mods are substantially more damage than flat elemental damage or elemental damage with attack skills. Rings. Rare rings. Steel rings with all offensive mods and stats are incredibly important for this build. Essence of Scorn provides global critical strike multiplier, which is one of the biggest ways to scale our damage, second only to flat physical damage. This build needs at least 191 strength in order to equip Chaos Heart, and you can't even equip an Abyssus without 138 strength. Jewel sockets are extremely important for this build, so you don't want to waste passive collecting strength on the tree. In our weapon for bosses we will socket Barrage, elemental damage with attack support, physical projectile attack damage support, elemental focus support for our base 4 link, chance to bleed support for our 5 link, and Mirage Archer support for our 6 link. In our weapon for mapping we will socket greater multiple projectile support, elemental damage with attack support, physical projectile attack damage support, tornado shot or whatever clearing skill you prefer for our base 4 link, chance to bleed support for our 5 link, and pierce support for our 6 link. When it's all said and done you will have 2 Doomfletches and 2 Drill Necks +1s. You could also use Mirage Archer support if you'd like, but once you get your damage up you'll be 1 or 2 shotting all packs anyway. In 3.1 we've dropped slower projectile support and replaced it with Mirage Archer support. In our helmet we will socket Orb of Storms, power charge and critical support, faster casting support and increased critical strike support. Yes, it takes up 4 gem slots, but this procs our power charges for us rather quickly and we just set it once and forget it, which is very important. You could try Frenzy also if you wanted, but especially on Guardians or Shaper I prefer to just set it once and go ham. In order to get a 4 off-color Abyssus, use the Jewels method of crafting, video for that in the description below. For mapping, not doing bosses you could use Immortal Call, cast 1 damage taken support and increased duration support. In our gloves we will socket Blink Arrow, faster attack support, summon Ice Golem and Val Haste. You gotta have that Blink Arrow combined with fast attack support for supreme mobility. Ice Golem and Val Haste are must-haves as well. In our boots for bosses we will socket Projectile Weakness, Hatred, Blasphemy support and Enlighten support. In our boots for mapping we will socket Assassin's Mark, Curse on Hit support, Herald of Ice and Hatred. This will give us our power charges and up our crit to swiftly breathe through the maps, truthfully. If you have everything set up and you really don't even need the crit or power charges, but hey, it's the same colors and an easy gem swap out if you're just going to run maps for a while. Hatred could be replaced with Haste if you want a bit faster clear speed, or you could put in Herald of Ash, but that would require recoloring. Projectile Weakness beats out any other curse, including Elemental Weakness. Jewels and Abyss Jewels. For regular jewels prioritize in this order: percentage increased maximum life, projectile damage, increased attack speed with bows, physical damage with bows, critical strike multiplier, increased attack speed, physical damage, and the resistances to help balance your Wise Oak. For Abyss Jewels prioritize in this order: physical damage with bows, physical damage, elemental damage, increased attack speed, critical strike multiplier, fist to fire, any other offensive mods, or resistances to help balance your Wise Oak. Watcher's Eye. Watcher's Eye jewels have a few mods that are great for us in this order of importance: plus percentage to critical strike chance while affected by hatred, percentage of physical damage converted to cold damage while affected by hatred, damage penetrates, percentage cold resistance while affected by hatred. The critical strikes one is the best by far, essentially returning a currently nerfed version of Doomfletch to its old state with the innate crit chance. This will boost your damage significantly, but the price tag definitely reflects that. Lion Eyes Fall. We use Lion Eyes Fall unique jewel to transform some really good leech and damage claw nodes into bone nodes. These nodes are very important for sustaining your mana, life and add substantial damage for us. If you cannot yet afford the Lion Eyes Fall, use the leech nodes by the duelist area and grab King of the Hill. Flasks. Dying Sun. Extra projectiles, fire resistance and max fire resistance is GG for us. This flask doesn't even need to be a legacy one, as AoE damage doesn't really matter to us. Taste of Hate. Taste of Hate is great because it acts as both an offensive and defensive flask. Since we wear Abyssus, we take at least 40% increased physical damage. This flask mitigates up to 30% of the damage, displacing it as cold damage taken. With this flask up, our max cold resistance is 82%. The Wise Oak. Legacy Wise Oak for 20% penetration is GG, even if I can't afford a legacy one, a regular 15% one is still OP. Balancing the Wise Oak, Pathfinder edition. Here is an example where we are at pre-flask, just with resistances we have on our gear. You don't need this much resistances, but they must all be within equal distance of mine. Fire and cold must be completely equal, lightning 60% above fire and cold. With Dying Sun, Taste of Fate and Wise Oak all up, your uncapped resistances should all be the same amount in order to get full functionality out of your Wise Oak flask. Jewels, gloves, belt, boots are great spots to ensure this happens. When it's all said and done, you might have to rebuy some items or use a good amount of Divine Orbs, but it's worth it. Quicksilver Flask. An Alchemist's Quicksilver Flask of Adrenaline is great for us. You could also grab one with increased duration instead. Diamond Flask. Diamond Flask with bleed immunity is a must, especially since we wear Abyssus. We don't want to be caught by surprise with the pesky bleed, which is all physical damage over time. A detailed skill tree plan, leveling advices and gear choices while leveling are listed in AhFack thread on the official Path of Exile forum. Links are given in the description below. Ascendancy points. We're gonna take Nature's Boon, Master Alchemist, Veteran Boya and Nature's Adrenaline in this order. Pantheon powers. For boss farming we're gonna take Soul of Solaris as our major god for physical damage reduction and the chance to take 50% less area damage from hits, and Soul of Grudkul as our minor god for an extra physical damage reduction for each hit we have taken recently as a counteract wearing Abyssus. Great defense choice for us. For mapping we're gonna take Soul of Lunaris as our major god for additional physical damage reduction and movement speed for each nearby enemy, and also Soul of Grudkul as our minor god. Bandit choice. Kill them all. Note: if you have any questions regarding a build, such as leveling advices, budget recommendations, more gameplay footage, insert random question here, visit the written guide on the PoE forum and or visit AhFack's YouTube channel, links are in the description below. Thanks for watching my video. I would greatly appreciate your support with a simple like on this video, your thoughts and feelings about the content itself in a comment. On top of that, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more videos from me in the future. It's totally free, so become a part of our great community. A big thanks to AhFack for creating the guide and providing me with the footage for our project. You can find all kinds of God mode PoE on his YouTube channel, so check it out. Take care and have a great day.
Run along. Turn back, trespasser. Cease this act. You tamper with things you do not understand. Recklessness will not go unpunished. This is your final warning. This is the Crucible, the nexus of nothingness, an equilibrium of the end.
me help you.
Imperfection must be reshaped. Must be reshaped. It must be perfect.
For who? Father, it's me.
Everything short of perfection is irrelevant.